want no fap right now? Or are you too pathetic to even try? If you are too weak to stop playing with yourself, you can click off this video. This is not for you.
What is up, King Lassick? My name is William Kitten. Yes, that's my real last name. And today we're going to be learning what it takes to FarFromWeak is a surprisingly colossal self-improvement YouTuber with about 1 million subscribers. He makes videos targeted towards men, teaching them how to have charisma and be more comfortable with their masculinity and in LGBTQ. That's a fun one. But it's easy to see why this channel's gotten so big because he offers really insightful, compelling nuggets of wisdom that you couldn't get anywhere else.
The first step to smelling good is to not smell bad.
Luckily, I started working on this video when I did because I'm afraid to say that FarFromWeak is in danger of being deleted any day now. He's been very vocal about this. In one of his latest videos, he explains that his channel already has 2 out of 3 strikes, and he double dog dares YouTube to pull the trigger. And honestly, I'm afraid for YouTube. They clearly don't know what they're up against, and this guy is obviously a very dangerous individual.
They have awakened my lust for battle. It's time for war.
You know what I think? This is a witch hunt! What has this nice young man done to deserve this treatment?
There is no free speech on YouTube, except for those that support the woke agenda. Any video I made that exposed the woke garbage or made up genders got deleted.
Okay, that's enough out of you. Why don't you crawl back into your box? Well, we may have slightly less to work with after all of YouTube's righteous purging of his content, but there's still plenty here to point and laugh at. Before we take a look at the videos themselves, let's address both of the elephants in the room, which is entirely too many elephants for one room to have. The first elephant is his all-encompassing obsession with Kratos, the protagonist from the God of War video game franchise that's pretty much his entire brand. His profile picture and banner are both Kratos, and most of his thumbnails feature Kratos doing various things, like sitting on a throne, playing chess, using Prawn Hub, practicing abstinence, or taking a dump on the YouTube logo. Is this what he meant by war? He unironically refers to himself as the
Ghost of Sparta,
which is the name of a God of War game. He probably has a Kratos shrine and body pillow at home that he does unspeakable things to. I find this particularly interesting because he's expressed multiple times that he thinks that video games are unmasculine and a waste of time.
They rather level up in video games than in real life. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button.
That's like trying to promote veganism, but your channel mascot is Ronald McDonald. The second elephant is, of course,
his incredibly deep and awesome voice,
which he's very proud of. Despite saying that complaining is something you should never do, he loves to complain about other self-improvement YouTubers copying him, which is something he hates because
you will often find women copying each other. It is quite a feminine thing to do.
Just thought I'd throw that in there. And during these rants, he'll say things like,
they try to emulate my voice with a robotic, deep voice.
Which to me is implying that he wants us to think
that this is his actual voice.
But is it?
Let's talk about that.
Now, originally I thought he was using some kind of Kratos voice AI, which would have been very in character for him, but upon closer examination, I think it's more likely that he's using some kind of modulator, because you'll find weird mistakes like him saying
subtle
instead of subtle, which is a mistake I don't think a machine would make, but he's just really dumb.
I am not stupid. Subtle.
Another thing I looked at are his 2 favorite words, which are
listen
and
pathetic.
And sometimes the voice clips are completely identical.
Listen, 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 listen.
Which, like, okay, it's a robot, but other times the inflection changes wildly.
Listen, listen, pathetic, pathetic. You may know me as a calm and reasonable person. Pathetic.
So I'm not really sure what to make of it. In my eyes, there are 3 possibilities here. One is that it's his real voice, which if so, wow, that's a stupid voice. 2 is that he's using some kind of trick to disguise his voice, probably because he's like 15 years old in real life. And 3, which I think is most likely, is that he is Kratos. Hear me out. Who would have a Kratos-themed YouTube channel but wouldn't play video games themselves? Kratos. He promised he would do a face reveal, but he didn't actually go through with it. Why? Of course he couldn't do a face reveal. He's Kratos, the freak everyone out. He has daddy issues. That checks out. The 3rd game is about Kratos killing his dad. Boom! They both have a history of violence. There you go.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
To complement his sage wisdom, FarFromWeak uses a variety of background visuals. Some stuff you'd expect, like God of War footage. Shocker! There's a lot of anime in there, a bunch of Wojaks. He loves Wojaks. Tangled, Boss, Baby, Minecraft, Villager animation, Dream, Minecraft fan animation. Where is he finding all these things? It's possible that I'm just way too close to weak to understand, but a lot of the scripting choices he makes just absolutely baffle me.
Men have big sexual desires inside of them. However, I want you to listen to that again. Men have big sexual desires inside of them.
In fact, I'm not even sure he scripts at all, or proofreads, or fact checks, or does anything beyond the bare minimum.
Number 5. Discipline. Perhaps I should have put this as the first step.
You know you can edit your video, right? You can make that the first step. You're allowed to do that. So most of his content is in list form, you know, like top 5 ways to hate the gays, that kind of thing. Granted, his advice isn't all terrible.
We will go over 5 skill sets every man must master. Number 1. Connecting with men.
See? That's not so bad. Society doesn't really encourage men to form strong bonds with each other, so that's a unique perspective to hear from a guy like him. You know, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Maybe I'm...
Number 2. Money.
Okay, so that's what we're dealing with here. He actually gives a lot of financial advice, and I gotta say, I have been learning a lot.
You must learn how to seduce money.
He has this narrative going that men have become weak, and it's somehow the fault of, like, the woke genders or whatever, and that men are, like, the most persecuted group of people ever.
We always hear people talk about how men are lying and cheating dogs. They call men filthy animals.
Do they, though? And who is they? Anyway, there's always a they in these kinds of videos. They're doing this to you. They're calling you filthy dogs. You know who's actually calling men dogs?
They behave like hungry dogs, and they are no different than a dog chasing a bone.
Don't listen to him, baby. He's just jealous. When he's not busy disparaging someone, most of his content basically boils down to that one guy from that meme template who's like, stop having fun!
People will cope and tell you that video games are good for you. They will convince you that you need to have fun.
What's that? You're doing something you enjoy? Fun is for sissies! Go do push-ups and eat gravel! Exercise will solve all of your problems!
Get out of bed and start to do some push-ups.
Well, thank you, thank you. Masculinity has been solved, everybody. We can all go home. Now, I agree that there's a limit to how much time you should be spending on your own pleasure, but he acts like if you're ever comfortable, then you're doing something wrong, and you should be crushing it at the gym, or doing a side hustle instead, whatever that means. And I hate that. I hate that mentality. That sounds miserable. What are you productive for if not the pursuit of comfort? And now for the one you've all been waiting for. FarFromWeak's hot takes on women. This is a big one. Maybe I should have put it earlier in the video, but unfortunately for me, it's just too late now, and there is nothing I can do about it.
Women are the physically weaker sex. Pathetic!
This is actually one of his favorite points to make, that
You are superior.
because men on average are stronger than women.
Who can build a greater physique in the gym? Men or women? Which one of the two can get more respect as a boss or a CEO? Men or women? I could keep going, but you get the point.
Could you keep going though? You gave 2 examples, and extremely arbitrary ones at that. I could easily do the same thing, but just reversed.
Whose body is more naturally flexible? Men or women? Who's more skilled at giving birth? Men or women?
Another thing he frequently puts into the waste of time bucket right next to fulfillment and happiness is women putting effort into looking good.
You should feel superior to women that do nothing with their lives except trying to look good.
Which is just so silly, because are you really telling me that all of that exercise you keep yelling at us about is for noble strength improvement and wrestling alligators or something? No, it's to get shredded and look good. But you're not shallow, it's women who are the problem. As you can tell from videos such as
6 dark manipulation tactics someone used to control you.
FarFromWeak actually understands women way better than anyone else. In fact, he's actually a bit of a self-proclaimed seduction guru, and he's made several videos on the topic.
Think of the alpha gorilla that gets all the females. Gorillas live in groups of both males and females, and yet the dominant silverback is the only one with total access to all the females.
Okay, counterpoint. We are not gorillas. You can't just go applying non-human social structures to humans. That's not how that works.
Think of the praying mantis. After intercourse, the female consumes the male. This too will be your fate unless you crush it at the gym!
FarFromWeak actually does get a lot of comments, which disappoints me because if they were real men, they would be spending their time doing side hustles instead of wasting their time commenting on YouTube videos. In 9 Golden Rules to Destroy Her Ego Must Know, Christina Zhang 4614 says, I am a girl.
Oh, what?
Girl.
And this really helps me. I see my friends getting obsessive over boys, and it's exactly how you describe them. Although the gender is different, humans get a big ego sometimes, and it's really good at knowing how to destroy their ridiculous attitude!
To which another commenter, having spotted a girl in the wild, responds,
I'm here for you.
really putting those alpha gorilla seduction tips to work there. At one point, FarFromWeak says that if your girlfriend hits you, then it's actually your fault for not disciplining her enough or something, which is an awesome take. Anyway, in the comments, Brothers of Destruction 1431 says,
I will kill if a woman slaps me!
so clearly he's watched the FarFromWeak video on becoming deadly. You could say he's a bit of a lady killer. Now, Brothers of Destruction does have some supporters, like Eladius, who says, won't come to that. Your comment alone makes clear you won't put up with bullshit. So it won't scale to that. But he also got a bunch of dissenters spamming him with skull emojis. Unfortunately for them, he stood there unfazed and struck them down swiftly and without mercy. Do I look like I care, lol? I don't touch trash. What else, Mr. Soft Heart with a weak heart? If a guy slaps you, you're probably gonna be the one that gets killed. Ha! That don't make sense. If a guy slaps me, I would be the first one to kill him. You're out of logic.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
Murder! Unfortunately, I've spent too much time having fun working on this video, so I should probably go do squats and ignore women. Of course, if enough of you were to subscribe, then this channel could qualify as my side hustle, and I could continue making videos without transforming into a weak beta liberal cuck. But that's just a stupid pipe dream. Unless. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed, and remember to be as swift as a coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon, with all the strength of a raging fire, and, dare I say, mysterious as the dark side of the moon.
Oh no, don't remind me about that.
Oh my god, I remember one time in middle school, I sung the Make a Man Out of You song in choir class, and I hadn't practiced at all, and it was terrible. It was terrible. This was like 6th grade. Oh my god. Oh.